All right, we're here. Beautiful house in Northbrook, Illinois. Let's see. This is the pond, and needs a little bit of our help. All the line are exposed and everything. Not the best looking pond, but it's got the bones for it. Big fish. We just changed the water the other day. It was all full of algae. It was pea soup in there. Did a full water change. This is the stuff that we need to work on. Exposed liner. Beautiful stone bridge though. All this exposed liner, very ugly. That's gonna need to be worked on. We're gonna put a wetland in there, and then we're gonna redo this waterfall a little bit so it falls in a more natural way. And then this small winding stream we're gonna need to rework, make it look more natural, hide the liner. Yeah, they just put a net over there so they catch all the gunk, but that's not the way to do it. You need to catch the gunk over there on top and make an intake bay at the bottom and hide all that liner. Gonna get to work. There we are. It's coming in. Let's see how it's also splashing out a little bit, and they've been losing some water that way too. But he also told me that he has a leak. I think the leak is by the skimmer. That skimmer is very, very tilted. I think the front of it is leaking. We're gonna build the intake bay right here behind it. We're gonna get rid of that old skimmer. This is very, very crooked over here in the ground. All this liner exposed around it. Look, the duck. So the fish are spawning right now. It's kind of cool. Let's see if we can find some eggs on these rocks. Oh, look at this. I already felt them. It's full of eggs. I should put it back there. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Put it back in the water. That's how it's supposed to look like. And that line is gonna get tucked behind. Just like that. Alright, we have an interesting situation here. Somebody put this nice rock over the water. It's cantilevered nicely over the water. The water goes under. It's beautiful, and then they just foam it with black foam, which I don't know what that foam does, because it's definitely not gonna seal against leaks, if any, but the water level doesn't go over the level of the liner, so it definitely doesn't leak. Just gotta take this out and then see the nice line of the water going under the rock. Liner is folded nicely over here. We will backfill with dirt and then also use some pebbles put in between to fill in so you do not see that liner. Show the result later. You don't want the dirt to go in the pond either when it rains, so cool. Dirt from the intake. You gotta finish this. Alright, one section done. We're gonna probably put some plants in the future over there, or let the gardeners, landscaping guys do it. We'll see. That's how it's supposed to look.
There's something deep inside me that when you make me bubble.
But this is what we have right now. And then Ryan over here is working on removing all this ugly stuff from here. They actually used yellow foam and then they painted it black, and then they just like, yeah, not even sure why they use so much foam over here. These rocks are heavy, they could stay in place without foam, no problem. It's just, this is not supposed to be there anyways. We're taking this second liner off. There's another liner underneath the original liner. Apparently they thought they had a leak, and they just tried to slap another liner over. You know, obviously the job was done by somebody that doesn't do ponds, because it looks horrible. But we're gonna take this one off, the new one from on top, and see what's underneath. I feel there's water under there. It's very floaty on the top. So there's water under this liner. So we're just gonna have to figure that one out. So lift that liner for a second. Let me see under. Lift it. Yeah, see, there's like water. There's the rolling through, and that's the old liner. We don't need the second liner. I'm not even sure why they did this. We'll find out. All these rocks under, on the edge and everything. The bridge, we gotta go there, hold it. I mean, look at this one. Look at this stuff. We got one liner, two liners, three liners, four liners, 5, 6. Oh my God. What is happening? Okay. Yeah, I don't see it. Wow. Perfectly good liner. Over another perfectly good liner. Over another perfectly good liner. And it keeps on going.
This job just became a lot crazier.
Let me get the buckets, the green buckets. We're just sitting here having lunch. And this duck lands in the pond. What's up, buddy? This thing is starting to look proper. We'll get rid of that extra liner over there. We're gonna seam that so the water doesn't back into over there and get out. The rocks are almost in their final resting place. I'm gonna put some more here. We did that there, so now the water falls more naturally off of that ledge. We're probably gonna build a splash pool in there so the water pools up on that ledge, and then from there it's gonna fall into separate streams between those rocks. We have these in here already. We need to like foam them in with black foam and then put some pebbles in between to look more natural. Not much we can do about that big berm and the waterfall, but it looks decent. And then we need to figure something out at the top where that biofall is crooked, because this berm kind of sunk down on that side. So I'm gonna need to level that drop over there where the water drops, and then take it from there. So we're gonna make this pond fit this beautiful house a little bit better. Beating on me, man. Oh, did you put sunscreen on your neck? Water comes over, and you're gonna see it go that way. Nice. This is done. It's gonna pool up in here a little bit. Foam in here everywhere, so the water flows over these rocks nicely and cascades down instead of going behind them. It looks like it's lunchtime.
Wasting water here. Perfect. Nice job.
I think we're done with this lower part of the waterfall. Natural. All right, I think we're ready for some waterfall action. It takes a minute for it to fill up there. Big biofalls. I think it's the biggest one they have. Oh yeah, it's on top already. The water's still very green. We'll make it look better. Needs a wetland and an intake bay. Here we go. I think that's nice. Alright, so we're gonna make the pump vault for the wetland. Again, this is the poor man's pump vault, which you can make really cheap. Buy these 2 buckets for like $7, or not even. I think they're like $4. Buy the lids. This is the screw-in lid. So this is the top of the pump valve. This is the bottom with just like the snap-on lid, just so the water doesn't come out through there. And then you just stack them up, cut the bottoms on both, stack them up, tape them, and use the hot gun to make them stick together a little bit, and then tape them with duct tape, and that's it. Because you put it in there and then you backfill with rocks, and they're not gonna go anywhere. They're not gonna move. Alright, so we're ready to do the wetland, the bog. We're gonna make it out of this biofalls. I would have probably preferred to have a liner in here, make the hole a little bigger and put a liner, but this waterfall was built as it was built, and this big berm was big rocks, and in order for us to take this apart and put it back together, make a hole and all that, that would have been a bigger job, and the customer didn't want to go for that, so we're just gonna build it out of this biofalls. Should be good, but probably could have been better if it was bigger, but that is what it is. So we're gonna go in here, set this in. I already drilled the holes in this and set it in there. That's like so. These guys in there. All right, so cut these milk crates to fit them in there. Pieces. We're gonna try to wedge it with rocks, and that's how it looks inside. Take a look inside. There's a pipe down there. There's some room that we're gonna wedge around, and I'm gonna put the bio balls inside there. The old bio balls. I'm gonna use them for the filtration. Good enough. Let's give these guys some food. They're the champs, trying to take all this construction, and we're bothering them here, doing water changes over water changes and getting into the pond, moving rocks. So they deserve some food right now. Nice big fish. Biggest one is probably around 20 inches long. It's probably the biggest one right there. Alright, so we're gonna use this old skimmer, repurposing it as a pump vault. Put some holes in it already. I'll continue to do that everywhere. I already have the hole for the plumbing. I covered the old skimmer window, and it's deep enough to use as a new pump vault. That's gonna go in here on this end of the intake bay, and then the pipe is gonna run through the trench. Right now we're running this pump all the way up to the wetland that we just built up there. But when we're done with this intake bay, we'll just drop it into the new pump vault, and all the water is gonna filter through the intake bay. It's gonna make this pond a lot cleaner and function properly.
I got a little angry.
Excuse me. That's our wetland. Working nicely. Another day here at the big pond. We're making progress on the intake bay, and then we're also going to seam that liner probably today. Put the water very low so we can work on the liner. Bro, we need to pay attention to this right now. Gotta go like this, you see? Let it go. You see? Like this.
doesn't pay me help.
I sincerely want to
Okay, getting ready to seam this liner. Finish the job that we started yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You do walk on my knee, so if I don't fit the top. It's okay, it's okay. We'll stop here. We'll stop here. Stop here. Yeah, I know. It's fine. We'll straighten it up and then I'll put the 6 inch over. And if I have a little bit of a thing in there, huh? From this end to the room. Something nice, yeah, like. Hey, I said come at the end. We're working on it, look. Yeah. A lot of work for you or for us? Oh yeah? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yep. We need to fill more at the bottom, see there's not enough. See the liner. Before I cover this, I wanted to show you for your own peace of mind, so you can let the kids come in here if they want to. This is not going to go anywhere. It's very strong. I have water in the intake bay. Okay.
Fish are already enjoying the intake bay. Almost done. I installed the jets. I installed the autofill in the water. All right, job done. Took us about 2 weeks to renovate this pond. A lot of work, but this is completely new. The intake bay. It's about 3.5 feet deep. Water is about 10 inches to 1 foot deep right here. But then under we have a false bottom with aqua blocks and crates. And the water's nice and clean now. It's getting filtered up there in the wetland. The plants are all in. Well, the pond plants, the aquatic plants in the water are in, but they still have to do the landscaping around the pond. It looks pretty barren. They're gonna bring some more big boulders, I think, and put a patio over here, a walkway around the pond, and then plant it up with a bunch of shrubs and all the good stuff to look finished. We have a lotus right there, nice lotus. Also have a lily that's pretty small right now, but it will grow. A bunch of grasses, some creeping jenny, some hyacinth, and some hostas in the wetland, along with some water hyacinth. Filter a little bit up here. Nice pooling action. That's about 4 inches deep over there in the pooling area. It's not splashing out like it used to before. Let's see how it's also splashing out a little bit. And they've been losing some water that way too, but still has a blade pulling and then sticking it down the nice stream back in the pond. The hyacinth and the hostas up there in the wetland. And that's the job done. Alright, we're back in Norbrook a week later. Let's see how the pond looks. This is the pond, and needs a little bit of our help. All the liner exposed and everything. Not the best looking pond, but we just changed the water the other day. It was all full of algae. It was pea soup in there. Oh wow, very nice. Nice and clear, like crystal clear. Beautiful.